Hey everyone, Laz here, Methuselah Mindset. Welcome to the beautiful and sunny Kaipara Peninsula in northern New Zealand. So glad you could join us for another one of our knowledge-based articles. And this one today I've taken from one of my most recent blogs from the website, methuselahmindset.com. Link in the description below. Okay, let's get into this. Inspiration, we're always looking for it. And I think you would have to go a long way to get a better example than from our good friend, Dr. Peter Attia. If you follow the channel, you know I'm a massive fan of Dr. Peter Attia. The Drive podcast, the website, the whole 9 yards. Links in the description below. All right, we all need inspiration. You're never too old to start exercising. Just ask a 93-year-old rowing champion. One of the questions Peter is asked most frequently is, am I too old for exercise to make a difference? I get asked that myself. The answer is always a great, big, resounding no. Indeed, this message is so vital that he will soon be sharing a podcast episode, dedicated entirely to guidance for those looking to start or return to exercising in their 50s and beyond. I'll be looking forward to that. Substantial evidence from intervention studies and observational research has demonstrated an array of positive health effects of physical activity in older populations. But sometimes the most powerful inspiration comes instead from the stories of individuals. Isn't that so true? Recently, Peter came across an example of such a story, one so remarkable it simply needed to be shared, in which he hopes will serve to remind all of us, regardless of age or fitness level, that exercise is a critical element of any formula for healthy aging. Let's get into this, man. Meet Richard Morgan, a 93-year-old rowing champion. 20 years ago, Richard Morgan, a then 73-year-old retiree from County Cork in Ireland, attended one of his grandson's college rowing practices. Though Morgan hadn't devoted any attention to physical activity in his life up to that point, which is remarkable, the coach offered to let him use one of the machines, and he kindly accepted. Fast forward to present day, and 93-year-old Morgan is a 4-time world champion in indoor rowing, most recently winning the 2022 title in the 90 to 94 age division. He rows nearly 20 miles every week, mainly 70% at low intensity, with 20% at moderate intensity and 10% at high intensity. Altogether, he is estimated to have achieved a cumulative rowing distance of nearly 10 times the circumference of the Earth over the last 20 years. Isn't that amazing? In addition to maintaining a resistance training regimen with dumbbells approximately twice per week. I didn't make that up, guys. You know, I'm a big proponent of resistance training. I'm reading it straight from here. Check out the link below. It's all there in black and white. Along with his rowing, he does resistance training twice a week. Love the man. Okay, and recently he's attracted the attention and amazement of researchers investigating aging and physical performance. A case study in healthy aging. As Peter Attia has discussed on numerous occasions on his podcast, The Drive, thoroughly recommend, studying the oldest members of society, nonagenarians, centenarians, and beyond, can provide insights on the science and process of aging. For instance, whether losses in muscle mass and cardiorespiratory fitness are inevitable with advancing age, or are instead at least partially explained by a reduction in physical activity levels. Turn the page. So, when news of Richard Morgan's physical prowess reached investigators in Ireland and the Netherlands, they invited him to undergo various physiological and performance tests in the hope of shedding light on these questions. The results, published in a brief report this past December, astounded the investigators. Body composition measurements determined Morgan to have high muscle mass, 105 pounds, 80.6% of total body mass, and a body fat percentage of 15.4%. Values that would fall within a healthy range for a man half his age. Unbelievable, right? Equally impressive were his metrics of cardiopulmonary function and physical performance. Morgan's forced vital capacity, a measure of lung function, was reported to be 3.36 L, a value more typical of men in their 40s or 50s. In a 2,000 meter time trial on a rowing ergometer, the nonagenarian demonstrated exceptional cardiovascular adaptation to exercise, with his heart rate rapidly rising to a peak of 153 beats per minute, and oxygen uptake kinetics, a measure of time required to adapt to a changing metabolic load, approximating those of a healthy man in his 30s or 40s. Remember, the guy's 93. These results were all the more remarkable given that Morgan had only started exercising in his 70s, building up his fitness, he says, from nowhere. So he started exercising in his 70s. If that's not more of an example of it is never too late to start exercising, I simply don't know what is. Exercise, a powerful intervention with no expiration date. Oh my goodness, how true. The study authors admit that genetics may play some part in Richard Morgan's age-defying fitness. Of course it does, we all know that. And in the absence of baseline data from before he took up rowing, we cannot know to what extent his current physical health is attributable to the deliberate addition of exercise to his daily routine. But even with these caveats in mind, we can nevertheless derive important lessons from his experience. For one, it shows us that so-called normal trajectories of age-related physical decline are not predestined and unavoidable. The mere fact that Morgan exhibits the body composition and cardiovascular fitness expected of a much younger man is evidence that the human body is capable of sustaining a high level of physical health far longer than many assume could be possible, and collective evidence from research strongly indicates that regular exercise is a necessary and powerful means for achieving this. But perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Morgan's story is that no one is ever too old to reap the benefits of physical activity. One of Morgan's grandsons, also an author of the case study, it's a nice touch, describes his grandfather as having shown huge benefits in sense of mood and energy levels since he incorporated rowing into his life in his early 70s, and other evidence tells us that even later starts can see similar rewards. Never too late to start. So I cannot emphasize enough that there is no such thing as too old to exercise. I've often praised its many benefits, and when it comes to health and longevity, this particular prescription comes with no expiration date. All right, guys, hopefully that provides you some inspiration and some solid latest scientific knowledge. It is never too late to start exercising. Whether you do resistance training with weights, cycling, running, rowing, please, this is the evidence, this is the science. The benefits that you will reap are just absolutely enormous, as per this example and this amazing guy, Richard Morgan. All right, guys, as always, love, respect one another. Please, come on, get outside, get moving. As always, peace and love. See you on the next one.